Hello everybody, this is Raymond here, back again with another video. Now, yes, I know, I have a lot of stuff back there, and yes, my cable management right here is very crap, so please forgive me on that. So, today I want to bring up this discussion right here regarding with the crew with end user license agreements. Now, if you don't know what the crew is essentially an online racing game developed by Ivory Tower and published by Ubisoft, released back in December 2014 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC. Now, in December 2023, a couple of months ago, it was been delisted from all digital storefronts and left a message saying that the game will be playable after, before March 31st, 2024. After that date, the game will no longer be playable. So now, whenever you boot up the crew, you'll just end up getting an error message saying, "Oh no, you cannot access the game anymore." And the funniest part is that, somewhere in the code, the game actually has an offline mode, but it was never activated. So instead of patching the game up to activate the offline mode, Ubisoft just decided to shut the game down, making the whole thing unplayable. Now, I don't particularly do news videos, because news videos are just not my thing, but in this case, there's this trend going on, and that trend is stop killing games, so I had to talk about this. There's a YouTuber who goes by Accursed Farms. He made a video called "The Largest Campaign Ever to Stop Publishers Destroying Games." I'll have a link to that video so you can go see it. It's a 30-minute long video, but I'll summarize it pretty short. So in that video, he needs all the help for the campaign he's making called "Stop Killing Games." He's basically telling owners of the crew to help, and he also made a website called stopkillinggames.com. Basically, where you could take action here. You could pretty much go to his website to check it out. So he talks about how the Crew 1 is basically no longer playable due to the fact that the game is always tethered to the internet. Now, you can, if you want to, check out the website if you want to take action. Granted, you have to be 18 or older, but it's there, so if you want to partake in the action, feel free to do so. So basically, this campaign has started ever since the Crew 1 has become unplayable since the servers got shut down. Which brings us to today's topic. Why end-user license agreements don't protect you. Now, I want to make this very clear. I am no way defending this business practice. I think Ubisoft is pretty much a shit company for doing this. However, I do want to address the elephant in the room. Now, obviously, I am not a lawyer by any means, so please forgive me if I get some information wrong. So, yeah, please bear with me on that. Now, the end user license agreement is essentially a thing where if you sign it, you agree to these terms and conditions where you don't actually read. So I decided that okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, again, I am not a lawyer, but here's the basic rundown. Now, you have to understand that a lot of people interpret end user license agreements as legal protections for the customer, thinking that, oh, I have this deal with, Apple or Activision or Ubisoft or Sony or whatever the case may be, thinking it's like, oh, this protects me and all that. Now, technically, you can kind of make that case, but not really. You have to understand that the end user license agreement is a legally binding contract between you and the content distributor that effectively says in it, you don't actually own any of this. And we have the right to change the terms in this contract at any time of our choosing. You want to know why you always get emails that tells you that they're changing their terms of service? Whatever the company it is, I don't care if it's PayPal or Amazon or Apple or Google, anything at all. Even your local store maybe. They always say that the user agreements have changed. Now, I live in the United States, so the end user license agreement may vary if you live in different regions, such as the European Union. Now, according to American law, it states that if you don't challenge that email, you effectively are agreeing to their terms and conditions. And challenging that email will require lawyers, funding, and all usually in service of things that are not really worth pursuing because it's not an individual injustice that has been brought about to you as the end user. It is usually something that says, we're okay with changing things at random. So, in simpler words, these end-user license agreement contracts only exist to protect the corporation, not you. Now again, this may vary in other regions, but think about it. You did not write a contract and have them sign it. They wrote something to give you to effectively sign by just clicking a box. So with that understanding, that end-user license agreement does not actually protect you from anything. Because somewhere in that end-user license agreement, it may say something like, according to American law, you're protected under this caveat, to that being that we can change anything in here at any time of our choosing. Therefore, we are not ever violating our own rules. That's just how it works. Just understand that when you go into these EULA contracts, it's just for their benefit. It's not for yours. They don't protect you from anything. And they have the right to change it at any time. And to show some proof, here is the EULA for the Crew 2 that was posted by somebody on Reset Era Forums. This guy right here was not able to find the EULA for the Crew 1, but he did find it for the Crew 2. And the kudos to this user named Alivard Fallen. You should go ahead and thank that guy for taking the time to write this down. So this is what it says for the EULA for The Crew 2. Now, before I read both sections, the argument that Accursed Farms has made is that The Crew was sold under a perpetual license, not a subscription. So we were being sold as a good, not a service. And then, of course, the seller rendered the game unusable. So this is a very difficult argument to win against. So, with that being said, let's take a look at both sections of the end user license agreement for The Crew 2. 1. Grant of license. 1.1. Ubisoft or its licensors grants you a non-exclusive, non-transferable, non-sub-license, non-commercial, and personal license to install and/or use the product in whole or in part, and any product the licensed for such time until either you or Ubisoft terminates this EULA. 8. Termination. The EULA is effective from the earlier of the date you purchase, download, or use the product until terminated according to its terms. You and Ubisoft or its licensors may terminate this EULA at any time for any reason. Termination by Ubisoft will be effective upon A. Notice to you, or B. Termination of your Ubisoft account, if any, or C. At the time of Ubisoft's decision to discontinue offering and/or supporting the product. This EULA will terminate automatically if you fail to comply with any of the terms and conditions of this EULA. Upon termination for any reason, you must immediately uninstall the product and destroy all copies of the product in your possession. They are straight up telling you that the game you have is not your property. By agreeing to their terms and conditions, you're allowing them to have full control of the game, and your rights to it can be revoked at any time of their choosing. That's everybody. That is the big concern. That always online DRM in games, that is never a good thing. Like, the moment that you see right here, when you look at the disc, like, if you see the indication, let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. If you see an indication that says requires content download, internet connection required, that's a bad sign. Because once the servers are shut down, if the game's no longer accessible, the physical discs that you have are nothing more than glorified coasters. Now, forgive me if I'm getting sidetracked, but at least with games like Cyberpunk 2077, with all of its massive issues with the optimization and performance at launch, at the very least, the game is playable off of 2 discs with no internet connection required. So if you have the patience to go through all of that torture of messy, buggy, poor optimization and stuff, you can actually beat this game from start to finish. Okay, I never really tried it myself, but my point is that the Crew should have had an offline mode right from the get-go. There was no reason to not include it. Now, this is what Gabe Newell said. This was from him. He said it himself. So, here's what he said. The easiest way to stop piracy is not by putting anti-piracy technology to work. It's by giving those people a service that's better than what they're receiving from the pirates. Yes, servers cost money. I get that. But that is still not an excuse to not give us an offline mode and allow us to host private servers that way. Now, thankfully, the modding scene is already working on an emulated server for The Crew 1 on PC. Now, I have heard someone say that Ubisoft is revoking licenses for The Crew 1, thus making the game no longer accessible to the game's files, but let's be honest, that's never going to stop the modders from making an emulated server for The Crew 1. There's always ways around it. It's going to happen eventually, one way or another. Like for example, this has happened before with Need for Speed World. Now, Need for Speed World is an MMO racing game from EA, and that game got shut down in 2015 or 2016. I don't remember the exact date. However, it did get. The game has been brought back by the modding community by not only making an emulated server for that MMO, but they also added additional content on top of that made by the community. Because you have to remember, the modding community is the one that brings games back to life through unofficial mods and patches, of course. Now, I really believe that this current method is only benefiting publishers. It does not necessarily benefit the developers, and it is certainly not benefiting the customers. Because, in terms of how economics work, you would have something like an economics triangle. Now, when you have a court case against the economics triangle, there would be a case where two can win and one can lose, or two can lose and one can win. But you can never have all three winning, and you can never have all three losing. Now, again, I am not defending this business practice of wiping games out entirely, but with this economics triangle with The Crew 1, the big winner is going to be the publisher. Because they were selling you nothing. They get to keep your money. They don't owe you anything. Because you're the one who signed that EULA that says, we don't owe you anything. And there was a scenario, and it comes to a scenario where the game stops working, they would say, we told you in the contract you don't really own it, even though we said you bought it. Because the law backs that up. And so, they win. The developer theoretically can win and theoretically can lose. It's a bit of a mixed one. And then the customer always loses. And it's the thing that they did you, though. They tricked you into thinking you won. So once again, you'll end up with a situation of piracy and a lot of upset people. And remember, piracy is the logical consequence for all of this. If companies like this are going to tell you you don't really own it, even though we told you did, then they're going to make an argument saying, if that's the case, then this product is not property. Now remember, both Apple and Amazon did this in court. No reasonable person has the expectation that this product is property. I believe that was Amazon's case. If they're going to make that case, then the logical consequence would be, well, if it's not property, it cannot be stolen. And if it cannot be stolen, then piracy is not theft. I'm not trying to promote piracy or anything. I'm just saying that artists are entitled to compensation for their work. And honestly, I am very passionate about consumer protection and customers' rights, the rights of ownership very specifically. So my point being is that this is definitely something that you should be concerned about. and the solution to this is that if we don't do something, then it's gonna come to a point where we have given up all use of control to corporations. And because of the fact that Ubisoft did not offer refunds to any owners of the Crew 1, then what they did was considered theft. But once again, by signing the end user license agreement, you're allowing them to intentionally screw us over. When all of your rights are gone, and if you cannot get it back, don't be surprised when there's no one left to fight for you. If you're an American like me, contact your congressman, contact your senator. If you live in another country, try it your own way. Now, the European Union and the United Kingdom have been a little bit better about this than what we have over here. And again, I feel very passionate about the concept of ownership rights. It's so bizarre that there's most people out there that are willing to trade away their rights for a little bit of laziness. But then again, a lot of human beings do weird stuff. So anyway, so yeah, that's my take on this. So I think you get the gist of it. Like, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear about this from you guys. Do you guys enjoy these type of videos? If so, like, do you want me to do these kinds of videos occasionally? Like, please let me know. Like, and again, if you want to check out the website, stopkillinggames.com, feel free to do so. So yeah, that's my take on this. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, click on that notification bell, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.